price points, so we can give people a bit of a guide. You know, if you want to live in the inner city of Sydney, as an example, you know, you take the what we call the lower North Shore, inner west, eastern suburbs. You know, just say a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1-car new build apartment. You know, you're looking anywhere from 1.8 to $3.5 million for a 2-bedroom apartment in a really nice block, great position, which is expensive. Yeah. You know, you'd rent that out for, you know, not great return. We talked about this in another episode, but you'll generally get really good capital growth on that asset over time. And then on the outskirts of that, and we've talked about this a lot ourselves, you know, to buy a house to live in, like an existing house, you know, you can't get much for under $3 million nowadays, probably in the inner west. Yeah. You know, you're looking more consistently $4 million and above for a home. You know, in the upper parts of the northern beaches, you can get things probably 2.5 to 3. And the southern beaches, etc., and further south. But, you know, even then you're spending an hour in the car to get to work if you had to work in the city, or by public transport. It's very spread out. And then you compare that to Melbourne. We've recently done a bit of work with a new development partner in Melbourne. We really like their business model, and they've got a new development in right near St Kilda, and a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1 parking. So very comparable to what you get in Sydney, same distance from the CBD. You get a really beautiful product for about 1.4 million. So it's almost, you know, half of what the upper echelon is. You know, not quite. So say, you know, if you say you're paying 2.5 in Sydney and 1.5 in Melbourne, it's a huge difference of that $1 million saving. And then to buy a house in really good parts of Melbourne, there's some really amazing suburbs in Melbourne, which we won't talk about, but it's very expensive, like Sydney. But then the general suburbs, you know, you're looking at anywhere from, again, really close to the city, you know, $3 million to get you a really nice house. But on the benefit for investors on the outskirts of Melbourne, in sort of that 30-minute rim where they're building a lot of properties, you can buy a house and land for $650,000. So that's a dramatic drop-off, and that's been built for a growing population. And so the opportunity there is you just can't get that sort of price point in Sydney. Sydney, you know, on the outskirts of Sydney, you're still looking $1 million plus, really. So for really good entry-level, great properties where you'll get an endless supply of people that can rent it, you know, you get a really good opportunity from a price point down in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it comes down to as well what you always say, what's your reason to buy?